All right, so let's do a quick review. We're talking about 3 different segments regarding prophecy and Ruach Hakodesh. I think the next topic after that will be a little different but similar, will be about Kabbalah versus Halakha, in terms of how do we go about things. So we'll clear some of that stuff. So we were talking about the Chachamim who had Ruach HaKodesh and how really Torah, and it's interesting, I spoke yesterday to Yitzchak, and he said to me, it's exactly what you said. That he said, sometimes I speak and I don't know how those words come to me, and it just comes, and it's just unbelievable. It's a very scary feeling. And I said to him, yes, it's a scary feeling, and unfortunately, when you experience that, many people actually kick that, because that will be an ultimate acknowledgement how HaKadosh Baruch Hu helps you and listens to what you do. So the acknowledgement of HaKadosh Baruch Hu in the world sometimes scares us to the fact that we kick it, we don't want to do it, and we leave. But that happens, and you experience it. It's not something that I'm telling you, only great people can experience that. Everybody to his level, especially once you start teaching, you experience this like abundance that comes all the way from the top. I mean, could only be compared to the inspiration that somebody get to create, let's say, great things. Like great music or great literature. It's something that you need to understand that comes from above. Or painting, it's not something that you paint. Oh, let me make a masterpiece today. I'm just going to make a masterpiece. Sometimes you just take it and you one stroke of the brush and you create like wow, it's a masterpiece. So that happens. The best way to get it, since prophecy was taken, HaKadosh Baruch Hu left it for us, is through learning in a certain way. And I really want to do this whole thing about learning and learning right and learning wrong as we started, but we'll go back to it. I have so much to do, it's like ridiculous. So something similar was referred to in the Tshuvot. It's okay. In the Tshuvot of the Divrei Chaim, Admor Mitzan's. He says some person told them, some Rebbe or Rebbe or whatever he was, told them that Orach Chaim HaKadosh, Rav Chaim, Rav Ben Atar, Orach Chaim did not write his book Beruach HaKodesh. It wasn't written Beruach HaKodesh. So he says, so the question that he was referred to a person who made such a statement, should we remove him from his position as a melamed if he said such things? And he says, Uma she'amru demimut neveim nitla ruach hakodesh, right? When the prophets became silent, so therefore ruach hakodesh was taken. He says, Hainu de nevuah, that is only for prophecy. Aval ruach hakodesh de chokhmah lo betela. In other words, when you get this divine inspiration, this clarity, the ability to see clear through things, is only when you reach great wisdom, great chokhmah. And chokhmah can only be acquired by laboring on it, by sitting down and learning, of course, in a certain way, and beyond it. And I said to you always, enjoying learning, because you see that when Yaakov Avinu was in distress, Ruach HaKodesh went away from him. So when the person was when he had joy, Ruach HaKodesh came back to him. Yaakov Avinu was a Chacham. He learned the Yeshiva of Shem Va'ever. He was a big Talmid Chacham. The same thing for you. If you learn and you don't feel this progress, this not progress. Progress you will feel regardless of how you learn. I should take it back. Which is interesting, because the Mahacho Rabbeinu Chaim Vital says, in his introduction, he says, a person that does not see any siman bracha, when should a person learn Kabbalah? So if a person did not see any siman bracha, any sign of blessing in his learning, he sat down, he learned for 3 or 4 years, and he did not see any siman bracha, any sign of success in his learning, he says, leave everything, don't learn Gemara, don't learn anything, just learn Kabbalah. Of course, it's impossible. Because it's impossible for a person to learn 3 or 4 years without saying Siman Shel Bracha. It's impossible. It's just impossible. It's impossible.
What do you mean Siman Bracha?
Siman Bracha means you understand things. You're able to be mechadesh things. You had some sign that you're actually getting the groove here. Do you understand anything that you learned? Yes. Or you sit like this. I don't know what the heck they're saying. I don't know. You understand? You're able to communicate. You're able to right? You see the fruits of your success slowly, slowly.
If you don't see, you should learn Kabbalah?
No, if you don't see anything, go learn Kabbalah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, of course makes sense.
Should it be backwards?
No, it shouldn't be backwards because that's what he says. Ultimately, that's the. I mean, if you can't get any Sima B'chai, at least learn that, and that would learning Kabbalah. Listen, let me clarify something. Learning Kabbalah is very important because it is a part of the Torah. People should learn the pnimiyut of the Torah, the inside of the Torah itself. Okay? However, it cannot be at the beginning stages. You need to be able to look at the thing on the outside. For example, you go buy a car, right? If I'm going to tell you, listen, how about this? The car has a V8 engine, has big wheels, I don't know, whatever, 600 horsepower and so on and so forth. You want it? You're going to tell me, well, I want to see what car is it. I said, no, don't worry. You want a V8? Fine, so I'll give you a big pickup truck. Well, I don't want a pickup truck. I said, it's a V8. Right? But you need to like the car. You know, I want a pickup truck. Okay. So people that like a pickup truck, many times they don't care. They'll buy a small pickup truck, because they like but that's with the people who stay on the outside, right? You need to look at the outside and then you fall in love with the inside. However, the learning of the Kabbalah, you need to learn the regular thing. You need to learn Pshat, the regular, understanding of the Pasuk. You need to learn all different things, and then eventually learn the inside of things. The reason why, how things actually sit down on a different level, on a higher level.
If you don't understand the beginning, how you learn the end?
So the Kabbalah, that's exactly good. So if I don't understand the beginning, how do I understand the end? If you don't see any bracha, Kabbalah by itself, it's like a nuclear energy. Has the ability itself to connect you through that. It's like, how do you call it? This, what do you do for the person?
Defibrillator.
Yeah, defibrillator, yes. It's able to connect you spiritually. It's like it's a spiritual defibrillator to connect you with that. Because if you cannot connect it to the regular steps, we're going to zap you in that way. It's so powerful. Okay? So that's what he says. So learning Kabbalah is very important, but you need to learn it with time. You need to develop your abilities to digest that internally. Okay? So learning Chokhmah, but you need to enjoy what you're learning when you are, so that's learning. So if you enjoy, though, you continue learning, but you enjoy what you're learning, the simcha, the joy of learning itself will prepare you to actually let those floodgates open up, and then you're going to really acquire the chokhmah on a higher level, and you're going to be able to see this clarity of what we call Ruach Hakodesh. And that's the difference between a lot of people. That's sometimes a person who's been in yeshiva all his life, and he was taught and directed wrongly, that's the only thing you have to do, and only. Right? So they get a certain level of plateau and they can move out of it. And therefore they would fortify their path with different things so just they won't fall off. However, a Baal Tshuva, then all of a sudden learns, and he says, Ze matok midvash. I can't stop eating this. This is sweet. This is good. This is good. This is good. I'm learning Torah because I love to learn Torah. It's unbelievable. He goes, a person like this, if he has the dedication and continue with his joy, will be able to bounce further up into high levels also of chokhmah and understanding because of the joy in his learning. So you have to enjoy your learning. You can't, of course, fall asleep while you're learning, but you have to have the joy of learning. To be sameach, right, Michael? You see, everybody looks at you right now. The joy of learning. You have to enjoy. Whew, this is exciting. So the question if we could move it like this. It says, Ruach Hakodesh, the Chokhmah lo betela. Velo yakchish zerak apikores. Only an apikores would deny the fact that Ruach Hakodesh of Chokhmah was taken away, and therefore Orach Chaim did not write it. Therefore he says, therefore Baal Orach Chaim nishmato beginzei meromim bevadai chiber siporo beruach hakodesh is for sure wrote it beruach hakodesh because it was a big chacham, and it says שהסכים בחוכמתו לאמיתה של תורה. He was able to direct his perush of the Torah to the truthful point of the matter. It wasn't like, explain the Torah according to Buddhism or something. He was le'amita shel Torah, to the truthfulness, he brought it up to light. Therefore, a person who denies the Ruach Hakodesh of Orach Chaim is an Apikoros, and he needs to remove out of his position, because an Apikoros cannot teach people Torah. Okay? And it says, there's a story from Morav Broida, which was the Rosh Yeshiva of Hebron. It says, Gdolei Yisrael yadu le'avchin be'ofen pil'i. They were able to, almost in a miraculous way, to be able to determine right away if this animal is kosher or is going to be a trefa. If this kos is tavul or is not tavul. I heard stories from the Baba Sali. These are people that were there, not Baba Mises that you heard like 7,000 years after his death, something like that. Flying on carpet. There's people that were there when it happened. When the Baba Sali, they gave him a cup, and he says, this cup is not tovel. It's not tovel. They didn't put it in the mikvah. So he said, no, tavanu kol hakosot. He says, ze lo tavul. Like, this cup is not tovel. So they start investigating. So investigating. They say, there was, that day they got a lot of cups, and the person that didn't tovel all of them, they mixed them together. So he went and he pulled up, zelot tavul, zelot tavul, zelot tavul. It's obvious for them. We see the cup, we see a cup, what's a cup? But a person who has the Ruach HaKodesh is able to see things, zelot tavul, ani roeh et ze. A new person, who would say like this, he would sit down, or would stand up, whatever. Let's say you're standing out of a Walmart, right? And he would say, you see this person? He has a problem with his kidneys. You see this person? He has a problem with his sugar. You see this person? He has this. So I said, he says, I empty my head and I said, אני לא מאמין. I said, I don't believe it. So he said, תשאל מי שאתה רוצה. So there was a person who says he has diabetes. He has a problem with sugar. It wasn't fat or anything. So I said, excuse me, when they have diabetes stuff here, for this, I'm looking for something. He says, oh, come with me. I'm going to take something for myself as well. So come and shows me. I said, how is it possible? He says, I empty myself out. This is all simple, Same thing with I can tell you stories about Rabbi Chaim Baba Sal until tomorrow, but it's not the case. These are the things happen. I guess the real bottom line is how much you are able to empty yourself from yourself, but that's only a Chacham can do. Only a person who has Torah in him can do. We are so scared. We have to feel ourselves all the time, with what it is. But that's for a different case. And he says...
What do you mean fill yourself?
Huh?
What do you mean empty yourself?
Empty, you see, we all need to make sure that we are around all the time. That everybody acknowledge our existence, right? We feel very important, right? But look at yourself, look at you, look at me, look at everybody. What is it that we have that is ours because of us? Nothing. Even our great talents, it's not us, we generated the talents. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave it to us. So all your great doing and great accomplishments, and let's say you build that city on rock and roll, you build the city, you did all these things, you learned and you wrote all the books. Let's say you wrote all these books on this library. Every single one you wrote. Most people would say, look at what I did. Pictures, look at what I did. It's all my books. A real Chacham would say, it's me. I said, not me. The HaKadosh Baruch Hu allowed me to do that. It's from him. Do you understand? The acknowledgement of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, it's not you. What am I? What are we? What are we? A sack of bones and meat and fat? What are we? A chemical reaction? What are we? When you have feelings and you have emotion, what are you? Just a chemical reaction that occurs in your brain. But yet, there are certain things that, I don't know how do you explain it, but, that it's beyond chemistry. And what is that? That's the part of you that's called neshama. It's beyond chemistry. That's what HaKadosh Baruch Hu implanted into you. Otherwise, you're no different than a piece of meat on the supermarket shelf. What are we? So that's exactly what it means. If you want to go into the spiritual journey, you have to acquire wisdom and you have to drop yourself out. Again, I'm not saying become low self-esteem, become selfless. You know why? It's very simple. I told you the story a million times about the Japanese tea master, right? No? Okay, Japanese tea master. I have a lot of tea master stories. A Japanese tea master was walking on the road. Comes to him a fierce samurai. And he summons him to, says, what are you? I'm a tea master. So, okay, come and teach me the tea ceremony, the secrets of the tea ceremony. So he said, okay, come at that day to my shed and I'll teach you the tea ceremony. He said, okay. So he comes like this, a big samurai. You know, samurais at the time had like 3 swords. They were the man, not Obama. They're samurais. So he said, okay, they sit down. There's a certain way you sit down. You place the cup, and the tea master makes the matcha. Makes the tea like this, which is, by the way, very healthy for you to drink. Right? It goes like this, and then you pour the water. Even the water has to be done in a certain way. They pour the water, and he pours the water, and he goes, and he pours, and he pours, and he pours, and he pours. So overspill it. Someone says, well, what are you doing? He says, I'm teaching you the tea ceremony. What kind of tea ceremony is that? He said, that's still lesson number 1. Empty yourself. When you fool yourself, there's nothing for me to teach you. Empty yourself, and then I can teach you something inside. Okay? Now that's the process of Ruach Hakodesh. Now, and there are some questions lehalakha that they said, can you rely on people like this, those Yechidei Sgula? Can you actually rely to it lehalakha? And the answer is yes, because it's not in lo b'shamayim. With some halacha that we says lo b'shamayim, halacha lo b'shamayim. You have to come like this, but you're allowed to ask chachamim of such nature. Very few people in our generation such halachot or such questions, and they'll be able to answer you based on Ruach Hakodesh. So, okay, I guess we're going to do a part 5 on that. So I think this is enough for today, just in terms of the understanding that you need to acquire wisdom, you need to have joy in your wisdom, and you can't be full of yourself. These are the 3 main ingredients in understanding. These are the processes of developing this insight to the word of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Because after HaKadosh Baruch Hu created the world with the Torah is the blueprint of the world. Now that you understand the Torah inside and out, that's why you need to learn Kabbalah, to understand the internal part of things, right? So that's how you'll be able to get it. If you don't do that, you might be very knowledgeable in Torah, but you're not going to be able to get that chip that will put you into overdrive, into hypersonic, not supersonic, hypersonic speed. That chip would be wisdom, joy, and above all, selflessness. Have a great day.